freshness than it did in 2007. After all, Lance Mackey had already won the race once, against all odds. His victory in '08 was more about a confident, defiant statement that his place in history is to be respected and celebrated for what it is, the greatest 24-month domination that long-distance mushing has ever seen.
It's about a repeat last year, isn't it?
You want drama? We've got drama. Mackey is out to prove he can do it again. The others are in a chase to end his era, and all that stands in their way is 1,100 miles, the Alaska Range, the interior sinking and suffocating cold, the blizzards of the Yukon, and the Bering Sea coast. But the most imposing obstacle may be the will of a competitor that rivals something from a different world. To beat Lance Mackey, they may have to run all the way to Nome. Changing complications. No race is like the last. There is no recipe for certain success. It's a game of genetics and the dogs, a commander making decisive and prudent decisions, and there is an element of luck. It's nearly impossible to win. That's why back-to-back championships in the Iditarod have to be revered.
I'll tell you what Lance is on. Lance is on a survival high. That's what I think Lance is on. Coming from one cancer survivor, describing another, Lance is in a hurry to experience life because he knows what it's like to almost lose it.
Over the years, we've seen people do well for a few years and then kind of fade with their team. If you have an exceptional group of dogs, and sometimes it just takes a great dog team with one or two key players. You know, the starting quarterback of the Super Bowl is a heck of an athlete, and he can make a difference. And I think Lance experienced that over the last few years. The true test is whether people can not only create one wave, but multiple waves.
He had some tough years in there between his health and finances. He didn't have a golden spoon. Whether his dad won the Iditarod or not, there was no golden spoon for Lance, and he earned it.
It's a pleasure.
But with all that said, you can't desire your dogs into being faster than Jeff King's. You have to have either lucked into or outsmarted them with the genetics of the dogs. There is no way that Will alone will make a team of poodles go faster than mine. They have to have the right stuff.
The first year we got a lot of comments and a lot of smack talk from people. Last year doing it again, I got their attention. I basically want to make the statement one more time, just so people ain't doubting what we've done the last couple of years.
This race has a history of evolving mushers delivering this sport to a new era. Boozer, King, and Doug Swingley did it in unique ways over the last 15 years. Robert Sorley and the Norwegians. But Lance Mackey may have had an impact on this event that is not fully understood yet. A cancer survivor, a kennel run on a shoestring, and shoe leather tough determination.
I would never put a limit on Lance. I would be a fool.
We all know, and too often forget, that desire and persistence pays off. The one thing I appreciate about Lance is he's not a whiner. There's nothing I hate more than a whiner. Oh, my dogs are sick. They won't eat. You know, he just has an upbeat attitude.
Kennels go through cycles, is my philosophy. And if you look in the 80s, you know, Rick Swenson, it was really difficult to beat Rick. You had to be at the top of your game. Same with Susan, same with Martin, same with Jeff, although Jeff's been really consistent over the decades. Lance is at the peak of his cycle right now. How long it'll last, I don't know. I mean, as a competitor, I hope it doesn't last too long. But he's obviously doing something right. And right now, you know, he's the guy to beat. And he's the one that we judge ourselves by.
musher in a way becomes married to this race. If you want to win it, it takes a complete focus for years.
Got a one-way ticket to Nome.
And once the race begins, that focus must increase and zero in.
By the beginning of March, I have 16 dogs, a sled, and nothing else in my head. Oh yeah, I have other dogs at home, I have a wife at home, I have kids and all that. But come March, come beginning of March, my focus is about 24 inches wide. The sled, the dogs, the team. I always say we. And throughout the year, the we changes. The we is the family, the we is the helper, the we is the business, the kennel. By March, the we is my 16 best dogs and myself. That's the we that we take out on the Iditarod Trail.
To win, a lot of it's determined by strategy, but I think in this race, a lot of it just comes from your heart. You have to have the motivation and the belief and the drive to win and the vision to win, to visualize winning. I believe. I haven't won yet. I'm still trying to figure it out.
There is an ever-present element of luck. It's 1,100 miles of dodging dragons and pitfalls without bottoms. Mother Nature seems to revel in providing conditions not fit for man or beast.
So everybody has maybe a little a finite specialty that if the weather, if the trail conditions, if the race evolves around that, it will play into their hand and maybe they come out victorious.
I'm pretty focused on competition, and the elements and the things that you look at as grandeur or splendor are often obstacles and things to overcome. So we're looking at getting to know them as quickly as we can.
The weather's there. It's always a part of the chessboard in Iditarod. It's always able to stop the front or stop the back.
I mean, it can be like living in a bottle of milk, except it's probably 20 below. We've had situations where the outstretched hand is not visible in front of your face. It can be very, very challenging.
It's total sensory deprivation. You're just traveling through a slow-moving void. Each step gets you farther down the trail. Each step gives you no perception that you're moving farther down the trail. That takes, in a sleep-deprived world, tenacity to stay with the focus of where you're going.
The Bering Sea coast is what sets the Iditarod apart. The final 200 miles can be a maze through blindness. The wind can throw daggers and the blowing snow can create panic.
This is most beautiful, but most terrifying. It's so big, and we're so teeny, teeny ant-like in it. The wind is so powerful, it's just beyond belief, and it's scary.
It's been described before as an extension of life. The difficulties are unavoidable. For many that run the Iditarod, these 1,100 miles and endless days standing on the runners, banging heads with conditions that are sometimes indescribable, can constitute a personal journey of discovery.
You come off the Iditarod with the kind of assuredness that I can do more than I ever really thought I could do. Now maybe you take that and do what Steve Fawcett did and take a balloon around the world. I mean, you know, you may not ever reuse that confidence in Iditarod, but you will use it in life and you will be a better person for it.
I've entered the race before thinking I had the winning team, to be humbled 800 miles later and make a big mistake and learn from it. There's a big learning curve for Iditarod and that top 10 and just staying up there. And I've learned a lot over the years.
The contenders will give all credit to their dogs, as well they should. These athletes are genetically evolved and gifted, constructed for this brutal environment. Born to travel across this landscape like migrating caribou. 125 miles a day they run with pleasure and a pride that is pure and Alaskan. Each musher has put their genetic touch on their kennel, and the Iditarod becomes their proving ground.
It's the love of my dogs, the dogs that what I call designer dogs, the dogs we pre-plan sometimes 2 or 3 generations in advance. And then you only have one shot at proving that they're the best in the world, and that happens in the early part of March during the Iditarod.
They run 100 miles, rest 3-4 hours, get up and do another 100 miles for 10 days. There is no comparison in the world with any other animal.
The drama in 08 included a short nap.
I'm gonna catch him, try and catch him with his pants down.
Four-time champion Jeff King lost the lead with a little over 100 miles to go when he overslept and Lance Mackey slipped out and stole the show.
Show that.
It is not just the dogs that win this race. I know how to do it, and I know what to look for, and I can put a team together that has what it takes to be there. And some years you're there, some years you're oversleep.
It's not all torture. This trail will reveal a certain serenity, an inner peace that will remind those of why they do this. It's fleeting, and its presence can be called upon during times of doubt, only to be left demoralized.
That's the weird thing about Iditarod is you have moments like that, you know, and then you have, it's this crazy pendulum of mood swings or, you know, what you're feeling. And yeah, there's some times where you just think this is so right, this is what I meant to do, and this is such a great thing. And other times when you just really question it.
I have unfiltered time with God. There's so little between me and Him at those moments when I'm under the northern lights, when I'm traveling in the moonlight on the Yukon River, and when I come off of Shirovsky and look out across Unalakleet for the first time and see the vastness of the Bering Sea coast.
I find peace. I find personal peace when I'm riding the back of that sled with a well-trained dog team that, you know, I've grown up with. I can't imagine, I don't know what I'll do if I ever leave them.
It's when the trail gets long and nerves become frayed that a musher and his team will dig deep. Quitting is an option for some.
In Iditarod, quitting isn't an option. You know, we've heard Lance say that, but it's the truth. What are you going to do? Just sit down? I mean, you know, that will accomplish nothing. Absolutely nothing.
You can get really, really wrapped up in the moment, and there are hours and hours and hours on end where you're just going along and the scenery doesn't change, especially on the Yukon River, and you're just bored out of your skull. You can let your mind sort of drift and wander and go through these waves. 1 hour you're up, you're on top of the world. The next hour you're wondering what the heck you're doing out there. And it's very important to be able to step outside of yourself and recognize that you're going through that and just keep an even keel.
The competition is keen. Over 70 teams will begin Iditarod 36. Nearly 30 will have a chance to win. Headlined by two four-time champions, Jeff King and Martin Boozer. Dee Dee Johnrow will hope that this is her year. Between those three, there's almost 90 years of experience on the Iditarod Trail, and they will again contend.
I haven't yet obtained everything I want to accomplish in my sport, but I am still competitive 30 years later. I have now been in the top 10 competition for over 20 years, and I've been racing for nearly 30. So there's something to be said for longevity as well.
I foresee a day where I'm not aiming to be ultra competitive. I'm not foreseeing a day where I don't have dogs, but I foresee a day where the body and the age will yield to youth and exuberance, and where I might not be able to be ultra competitive. And then that would take a lot of pressure off by having a few dogs and just being out there. But, you know, I remember the year when Joe Reddington at 72 or 73 was actually leading the Iditarod. So I think that day is way off in the distance yet.
People say, oh, You gonna beat Norman Vaughn's record of... I mean, I got 20 years to go before I'm even the age he started. I've been blessed with good health. It clearly isn't endless. I can't imagine doing it in 10 years.
For Lance Mackey, it's a time of transition and the changing of the guard. Larry and Hobo, the stars of his 2 wins, are nearing retirement. If Mackey can win again, it means that his kennel and his genetics are deep and have transcended generations of breeding, galvanizing his contending spirit and place in Iditarod history.